Yes, people. It's GG at GG on wrestling on Twitter. Back with another weekly BTE review for all you lovely people. Another good week of BTE. Lots to get into, lots to talk about. Sorry, just 1 second. I'm not sure about that, John. I'm not sure a boy needs to drink pee. We are looking at episode 275, Grand Slam. Let's get into it after this. So yeah, another good week for BTE, guys. Before we get into the episode, as always, please drop a like, please subscribe, and please drop a comment to let me know if you're liking what you're seeing. And let me know your favorite moments of BT this week. There was a lot to choose from. Another very, very entertaining episode. And before I get into the episode, make sure you follow and holler at figtees.co.uk for all your custom figure shirts. I have one here that I got recently, and that is of me meeting Walter on Walter. That's how we do. Use code GGPod and save yourself 15%. So we start this week of BTE, surprisingly, with some footage of Christopher Daniels. His eye still looks mash up. He looks like he's been bunning on the high grade on one side of his face. We see him training. He says stuff to the effect of, I've gambled it all. I've lost my friend. I've lost my tag team partner. Basically just saying he's lost everything. He's alone. And the only thing he has to fight for now is the right to keep fighting, which I thought was a really good line. Yeah, we just see him just working out. And then it cuts to him in full fallen angel regalia. I had to throw that word regalia. I love using that word. TNA Christopher Daniels, is he coming back? All my TNA fans know the work he done in TNA. He was brilliant. Shame he never got to win the big one. The only thing I'm hoping here is that, I hope they have a plan in place. They have somewhere to slot him in. I didn't expect to see Christopher Daniels back at all. Glad to see him back as the Fallen Angel if that's where we're going. But, have we got a plan in place? I have full confidence in AEW. I'm sure they do. Possibly House of Black, maybe. Just throwing it out there, just thinking aloud. Who knows? But yeah, very excited to see what happens with Christopher Daniels, and hopefully the Fallen Angel is making a return. Next, we get Matt Lee and Parker with the BT title in front of them. They start talking about the Blondie, which we all know from last week was Renee, Moxley's missus, walked past them, and Matt is clearly fuming. She was having a look at the title. She wants a taste of the title. She eyes on the title, and they're not happy. If she does want a taste of the title, she's got to get in line. They talk about creating some kind of ranking system for the BTE title to try and add some prestige to the belt. So we'll see how that all unfolds and see what that involves, see what happens. So watch this space. Itching for some more BTE title defenses. So hopefully we see them very, 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 very soon. We then get some footage of the Bucks and Cutler walking the streets of New York, trying to avoid getting run over by cars. We feel your pain. London is the same, just following people crossing streets. I totally get it. They go to a Target, or it's like they go to a kind of outlet, a Nike outlet. We see them looking through here. Gives me flashbacks. I've been to Nike outlets before. I'm not sure if anyone else agrees, but the outlets that we find over here, dead. I've never seen any fire in them at all. You're better off going to a Sports Direct, honestly. So if anyone ever comes to England, Nike outlets, not the one. But let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure America, your outlets go in for Nike especially. So we get a little crep check from the Bucks, both wearing some dunks. loving Matt's pastel color. They look pretty sick. And they talk about, what did you pay retail or resale? We're still doing that. And of course, Nick, resale every time, team resale. You're flossing. I can't hate on the game, is what it is. This was so funny. So they start talking about where they are, the show they've got in Arthur Ashe, how big it is. Nick says, "Oh, it's funny." Actually, he corrects himself. It's cute how the younger guys on the roster are asking us, "Are you nervous for the big show? Are you nervous?" And they're like, "No, you have to remember we've done 7 Tokyo Domes." And if you're not sure of the capacity for the Tokyo Dome, that's 55,000, which is double Arthur Ashe. So that just tells you the kind of crowds that they've performed in front of. They start ribbing Cutler, basically saying, "Oh, it's such a big deal for you. You've only ever been to New York one other time, and that wasn't for a proper wrestling show. We're going to ask you how you feel when you're out there." And Matt says, "I'm going to reply saying I feel nothing, just being dicks, and I love it." Nick says, when you think you're all up here, you're thinking you're the man. Just remember that we did 7 Tokyo Domes, basically, just to kind of humble himself. And come on, man, let Cutler enjoy his moment, man. Like, come on. But there we go. I love the young bucks just ribbing on Cutler. Love it. We get some footage of Bryan Danielson walking out for his match last week. What a match. I know you must have all seen it. I've watched it 3 times now. I know a lot of other people have watched it 2-3 times at least. That just shows you it's a good match. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing here? Go and watch it right now. Like and subscribe, and then go watch it. You hear that pop from the entranceway, the gorilla position, and it, even just hearing it from here, it just sounds so loud. Like, I don't know if I've heard a pop like that recently. Like, it was just so loud. And we get a little bit of a little footage from that, some Cutler Cam footage from that match of Danielson versus Omega. Just gives you a small taste of what the atmosphere was like there. If you were there, hats off to you. You must have had such a good time. I am hating on all of you. The jealousy is real. Imagine being there for that show. Oh my God. But yeah, just a little bit of Cutler Cam footage there. We then cut to the Ryan Namath segment of the show. A slight mention of Cream, but he's basically doing a gossip segment, which was some of these lines. I'm going to have to read them off because they were so funny. So these are the juicy gossip scoops that Ryan Namath has come across. John Silver requires 24-hour nursing care. Anna Jay is a clergyman. Trent is 7 people. And -1 was injured at Vietnam. I mean, so random. Where the hell do you come up with this stuff? Trent is 7 people. That made me die. That's so random. Right. That is my kind of humor. But yeah, he gets the cameraman to read a short script. He wants to audition. And it basically evolves into him reading, "I have a smelly butt. My butt smells." And I think it's a callback to a prank call that Bart did on Mo Sislak in Simpsons. Correct me if I'm wrong. It may have been somewhere else. Let me know in the comments below if I am wrong. This is what I love about being the Elite and just the Young Bucks mind for this. So Carl Anderson was obviously absent from this week. He's absent. You don't have to answer it, but they go out of their way to find a kayfabe reason for him not being there. They show they're behind a door that has all these kind of stickers on it. They're trying to get Carl Anderson out. They're saying, "Are you catching a kiss?" Things like that. Come on, get out. Even if it's Sour Boy, come on, we need you. Any form of Carl Anderson will do. Nothing, no answer. There's a sign that says about roof leaks, and they're like, he doesn't know anything about roof leaks. So random. They're just looking at the door and trying to find material, which is funny. You can tell it's all off the cuff here. Matt Jackson says, we can't it's a bit weird just to have one of them, one half of a tag team out with us, referring to Luke Gallows. Luke says, but come on, I never had a singles run, which we know is true. Carl Anderson of New Japan fame had a great run as a solo star there initially. So, yeah, I'm not calling for a Luke Gallows solo run at all, but there we go. Carl Anderson doesn't come out. They have to make their entrance and they leave. But yeah, I love that they explain stuff that doesn't even need explanation, but they just go out of their way anyway. And I love details like that. Make it make sense. That's what we always say, and they do. So after they walk off, Matt comes back to the camera and he's doing his, this is the part for the ladies that watch Being the Elite. Matt just looking all sexually and sensually at the camera. He's not even brushing his hair this time. He's just oiling up his body. But yeah, shout out to all the ladies that enjoyed it. Next part, we get to see Adam Cole and the Young Bucks, the Super Click, make their entrance for Rampage. Again, huge reaction for Adam Cole. Totally deserves it. But the part that was just so good here. So Nick Jackson turns to Adam Cole, clearly, like you can see the excitement on his face, and he says, "How you feeling?" And Adam Cole says, "I've been waiting 5 years for this moment," which is beautiful. They're all happy. They're back together. They're friends, and it's just good to see. Adam Cole getting what he deserves, the spotlight that he should have, and it's just good to see. Get some good footage of some Cutler Cam footage of that 6-man, and again, what a crazy 6-man that was. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out, because that was one of the best 6-mans I've seen. Luchasaurus doing bits. We see a little bit that we didn't see during the show that happened during the break, where Cutler runs spraying his cold spray towards Jungle Boy, and he just back body drops him over onto the floor. And the lovely bit was that they all start giving Cutler the cold spray, so it's nice to see it's reciprocated. That's good. They're friends. But yeah, we just see some great spots from that match. I'm not going to go into all of them. The Hurricane Rana German suplex combo that Jungle Boy pulled off, the choke slam combo that Luchasaurus pulled off. And the thing that I loved here was Cutler just screaming. So anytime that something happened bad to the Super Click, he was screaming. At one point, he screamed, "My boys, my boys." And it's not even like, he wasn't even saying it like my boys as in my friends, my boys. It was like my poor boys, like they were his sons, which I thought was so funny. And the Luchasaurus sit up, a genuine scream from Brandon Cutler was hilarious. So good shit. We move on to the final segment of BT this week, and the boys are back in town. It's Reynolds, it's Silver. John Silver still drinking PP. Reynolds says, "What are you doing? You're not even drunk this time." Silver says, sometimes a boy's got to drink piss. Don't agree. Don't agree at all. He says, we need to find a friend. Silver says, well, let's start looking in the locker room. And he's instantly taken aback when he sees the War Dog, Wardlow. I love any time these guys are in a segment together. It's always gold. If you haven't seen their previous segments, it kind of ties into what's happening here. So the first time they tried to recruit Wardlow into the Dark Order, but it ended up just being them stroking his ego, telling him how hot he is, telling him how they want to eat him. That may have been initially where we see Johnny Hungy come from. I think so. I know he was using it previously, I believe, but I think that was the first time where I certainly saw him use that catchphrase, and it gets over, obviously. And then there was a moment in a future episode where they're having a dance off, and because they've been so kind to Wardlow, he just instantly says that they win. There's just this really funny dynamic between all three of them that I just love to see. Just give me more of it every week. They're basically, again, just appealing to Wardlow's ego, saying he's big and beefy. John Silver wants to chow down on this guy. They ask him, you could be a friend. We're not trying to recruit you. We want a friend. You look like you could be a real good friend, a friend with benefits. It got very Ric Flairish, shall I say, some of these advances to Wardlow. The way John Silver said, friends with bennies, made me die. Absolutely hilarious. Wardlow, he says, look, I appreciate you guys. Always have, always will, with such, you know, he says it with like real conviction. He means what he says. He does appreciate them, but he's best off left alone. And he just says that he needs to help John Silver work on his issues basically. And Wardlow leaves. These two are heartbroken. John Silver's asking who's going to love him now. Reynolds is wiping his tears on Silver's t-shirt. John Silver's doing all kind of weird faces, hilarious stuff. Definitely my favorite moment from this week. Drop a comment below, guys. Tell me what your favorite moment was. There was a lot to choose from, and a lot of questions coming out of here. Are we going to see the Fallen Angel come back? What is this ranking system going to look like for the BTE title? And who is this friend going to be that Reynolds and Silver finally find? But yeah, so many questions. Such a good episode. I love this episode. Really good stuff. Everything you want, really. And not too much cream, which was always a benefit. And no sour boy. No more sour boy, which is good too. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you visit figtees.co.uk for all your fig tees. Makes custom figure shirts, has a wide selection on there. You can use code GGPod and save yourself 15%. Make sure you're watching BT every week because it is just the best. Make sure you check out my podcast. There's something about wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week. Respect yourself. Don't neglect yourself.